The next tool or part is self-acceptance. Self-esteem is more than merely recognizing one's positive qualities. It is an attitude of acceptance and non-judgment towards self and others. Self-acceptance is an attitude, and self-esteem is a choice, is a decision, an attitude, I would say a decision to accept yourself, to give yourself the best things psychologically, to the decision to give yourself support, the decision to talk with yourself positively and supportively and accepting yourself. Chapters 3, 6, and 13 contain specific exercises to develop a forgiving, non-critical inner voice. In the end, the only way to really beat the critic is to push the client, or in our case, to push ourselves, away from judgment altogether, to create mantras of acceptance that you repeat over and over until a new attitude begins to sink in. So, it's the idea that we have been talking about this work being like mental gym, and it goes hand in hand with the ideas of the ancient Greeks, that we develop our bodies and our philosophies together. It's a body gym and a mental gym. And the watchword here is consistency. We have to be consistent with this work. I have seen that with myself in the past and with the clients, that if we don't work at that, we start to lose it and the critic begins to creep back inside. You will need to remind yourself or the client again and again of the self-accepting mantras you have developed together. Introducing this issue, then dropping it for the next 6 sessions and then mentioning it again will probably have very minimal impact. The concept of language of self-acceptance must be woven all through the fabric of your therapeutic work. And if we start by doing this work ourselves, we have to do that for ourselves. The special focus problems. There are 4 special problems that impact negatively one's self-esteem. First, inflexible rules and shoulds. 2, perfectionism. 3, extreme vulnerability to criticism. And 4, non-assertiveness. When any of these are present to a significant extent, they should be treated very specifically. Strategies for dealing with these problems are detailed in the following chapters. For shoulds, we will see chapter 7. For perfectionism, we will see chapter 8. For vulnerability to criticism, we will see chapter 9. And for non-assertiveness, we will see chapter 10. So, the shoulds are the things that you say to yourself that you should have done and that you should be. For example, I should be right now very have very self-esteem and have self-worth, okay? Perfectionism, I should have perfect self-esteem. For vulnerability to criticism is not accepting yourself and no willingness to see the truth in every criticism and accepting that about yourself. And non-assertiveness, it's the fear of not telling the world what you feel, what you want. Very interesting things. The next idea or tool is the idea of reinforcing the healthy voice. People with a strong critic will always have contact with their negative inner voice to some extent. The job of the therapist is to diminish the intensity of self-attacks while nourishing more healthy self-talk. So, the idea is to silence the critic and to empower the inner or your inner supporter. The other words, you may never entirely get rid of the inner voice that says, you made a mistake, you are stupid. But you can reinforce the growth of a parallel and even stronger voice that says, I'm fine, I'm doing the best I can. So it's always a balance, If we have been conditioned that way, then we start to recondition ourselves. And we can do it. And that's the best part, because we are not a lost cause. You can do it. You can improve. You can get more. And as the healthy voice gains strength, it responds more quickly, more forcefully, and more believably to the attacks of the critic. There are several specific interventions you can use to reinforce the healthy voice. 1. Teach coping statements. This can be in the form of affirmations or specific rebuttals to attack the critic typically makes. Hypnosis. Use or modify the induction in chapter 12. Hypnosis is effective because it functions as a memory aid for coping statements that you want clients to learn by heart. In addition, because hypnosis is a state of hypersuggestibility, your interventions will penetrate through a deeper level of acceptance. Visualization. Techniques described in Chapter 11 will allow the client to begin seeing him or herself as confident, socially comfortable, and competent. Visualization facilitates a more rapid shift in self-concept because the client literally sees his or her body and behavior differently. Anchoring. Described in Chapter 13, anchoring is a technique for retrieving feelings of confidence and self-liking from times in the past and bringing them into the present. An ability to access positive feelings at will has a significant strengthening effect on the healthy voice. Okay, so even though you have not been blessed or may not have been blessed with a high self-esteem from birth or from your parents or from your community and environment, the best part is that you can grow that by yourself. You can improve, you can get better, you can develop a healthy voice. The bad part is that we have to work at it, while the other persons or people that have a great self-esteem don't need to, lead a better life, an easier life, a life that brings them on average more joy. But on the other hand, we get to develop that for ourselves. We get to know ourselves better. We get to get more coping strategies. We become more socially intelligent. We develop emotional IQ. So there are positive parts of developing our own self-esteem. So we are at a lower risk of developing a big ego. We don't get in conflict with as many people, because you will, by doing this work, you will improve, for example, your assertiveness, but because you will at the same time develop a tolerance for criticism, you will be stronger. You will get to talk to people in a different way, so you will be seen in a different way. You won't develop an ego so big that people will start to avoid you, but you will have an inner strength, an inner core strength, and you will be able to choose the people that you want in your life, and you will have a better understanding of your inner world, of your inner emotional self, of the things that are happening in your life. So on this part, it is and it will be your superpower to develop your self-esteem. And so if you look at it in that way, from this light, it it is a good thing, but okay, we will have to invest time into this, but I'm here with you, so we will do that together, and I'm very happy to be with you in this journey.